Welcome to The Explainer. So, have you ever found yourself reading a book or watching a movie and just wondering, is that what real love is supposed to look like? All the drama, the passion? Well, today we're going to deconstruct those love stories and get into the nitty-gritty of what actually makes a relationship last.
Okay, let's start with this quote from a web novel. After a period of secret love, he started to abuse his wife. Wow. I mean, talk about intense, right? This is exactly the kind of super high-stakes, emotional roller coaster that totally hooks us. But it begs the question, is this really the kind of love we should be aiming for? And that really brings us to the core of what we're talking about today. Is this what real love looks like? Does a good relationship need all that conflict and drama just to feel exciting? Or, have we maybe been sold a version of romance that's not just unrealistic, but kind of unhealthy? So, first up, let's talk about where these big ideas about love even come from. We're going to dive into how all the stories we see, from books to our social media feeds, end up shaping our personal expectations for romance.
I mean, just think about it for a second. The viral web novels, the perfectly curated Instagram lives of couple goals, we are absolutely surrounded by these over-the-top, dramatic pictures of love. It's all about the grand gestures, the high-stakes drama, and when you see that all the time, it's easy to look at our own, maybe quieter, real-life relationships and think, is something wrong here? Is this not enough?
Okay, but what if there is a way to break love down, almost like a science? Well, turns out there is. In this next part, we're going to look at a really cool psychological framework that helps us see the actual building blocks of what we call love.
Yeah, and this framework comes from a psychologist named Robert Sternberg. He came up with this really powerful idea called the triangular theory of love. And what he said was pretty much any kind of love you can think of is made up of just three key ingredients. And here they are. This is Sternberg's triangle. You've got intimacy at one point, passion at another, and commitment at the third. Just picture that triangle. The specific shape of your triangle, how much you have of each of these three things, is what really defines the kind of love you're experiencing.
All right, so first up, intimacy. This isn't just about, physical stuff. This is the emotional core. It's that feeling of just deep closeness and connection. It's when you can be your complete, weird, unedited self with someone and you know it's okay. It's the inside jokes, the quiet understanding. That's intimacy.
Next, you've got passion. And yeah, this is the hot part of the triangle. This is the chemistry, the drive, the physical attraction, the romance, all that stuff that gives you butterflies. It's the engine, right? The motivational spark in the relationship.
And last but not least, we have commitment. This is the more cognitive part. It's the conscious decision you make. It's you saying, you're my person, and I'm choosing to stick with you and maintain this love even when it gets tough. It's the we're a team part of the equation.
So when you get all three of those components firing together, you've got the intimacy, the passion, and the commitment. That's what Sternberg calls consummate love. It's that full, complete kind of love that, let's be honest, most of us are hoping for. But it's not like a final destination. It's something you have to keep working on.
Okay, so we've got this great framework now, right? The love triangle? So what happens when we use it to look at those dramatic fictional love stories we talked about earlier? Well, let's dive into what we're calling the passion trap.
So, back to that web novel, for example. What happens when a relationship is built almost entirely on just one of these components? Specifically, what happens when it's all about passion?
And this chart, this just lays it out so clearly. Look at the fictional romance column. The passion is off the charts, right? But intimacy and commitment, way, way lower. It's a lot like classic stories. Think Romeo and Juliet. They had this insane passion for each other. But did they really know each other? Did they have time to build true intimacy or a real commitment? Nope. It was a flash in the pan.
And that leads us to a really crucial point. This quote from a BYU paper nails it. What we often see in these stories, what we might even mistake for true love, is actually what Sternberg would call infatuation. And infatuation is based almost entirely on passion. It feels amazing for sure, but it's often not built to last.
Okay, so if a relationship built only on passion is a trap, then what's the alternative? What's the real secret ingredient for a love that actually goes the distance? The answer might not be what you think. It's not about drama, it's about safety. Yeah, that's right. The research is pretty clear on this. The key isn't some huge dramatic spark. It's about creating a deep sense of trust. And that trust is built on three different, but equally critical, types of safety in the relationship.
First up is physical safety. And look, this is so much more than just the absence of abuse. That's the bare minimum.
This is about creating a true physical sanctuary together. It's the warm hugs, holding hands, all that positive touch, both sexual and non-sexual. It's making your shared space, your home, a place of genuine peace.
Then we've got emotional safety. This is huge. This is knowing you can bring your whole, messy, wonderful self to the relationship and not be judged. It's about being able to share your deepest vulnerabilities, your hopes, your fears, and knowing your partner is a safe space for all of it. They've got your back.
And finally, there's commitment safety. This is the bedrock. It's the quiet confidence that your partner is in this for the long haul, that they're going to fight for the relationship with you. And here's a wild thought. We often think love leads to commitment, right? But a lot of the time, it's the other way around. Actively choosing to commit day in and day out is what actually helps that deep, lasting love to grow even stronger.
All right, let's bring this all home. In our final section, we're going to put everything side by side and really look at the difference between the fantasy we're sold and the real, authentic love story we can actually build.
And here it is, the side-by-side comparison. It's pretty stark, isn't it? Fantasy romance thrives on drama and uncertainty. Foundational love, it thrives on safety and trust. One is about finding a perfect person, the other is about truly accepting a whole person, flaws and all. It's the difference between focusing on big, showy moments and focusing on the small, consistent, daily investments that really matter.
So, at the end of the day, it really comes down to a choice. The flashy, exciting fantasy that might burn out, or the steady, deep foundation that can last a lifetime. What kind of love story are you going to build?